Hey, what do you think you're doing back there? Pay attention to where you're walking, idiot. You damaged my bike. Someone is gonna have to pay for that, and I say it's gonna be you.
My apologies for bumping into you earlier. But I'm pretty sure you're the one at fault here. You were the one not paying attention to where you were going. Your eyes were completely on your phone, and you were listening to music while you were at that.
Very bold of you to think that you have a say here. Who do you think you are? Who do you think I am? I'm a student of the super-renowned Wyatt University.
And so, I understand that Wyatt University is well known for its outstanding education curriculum, but I don't see how that has anything to do with what just happened.
Fine, let me set things out for you. On one hand, there's you, someone who just by living and breathing in air is a waste of precious clean oxygen. On the other hand, there's me, someone who is almost certain to change society for the better in the future, perhaps by running a successful business or maybe taking part in some future technological advancements. I think it's pretty obvious who has more value in society overall. Am I right? 'Cause it's me.
I don't understand your point. I mean, even if you were right about how you may prove more useful to society, that still doesn't have anything to do with the accident.
Oh wow, you really don't get it, do you? Let's put this plain and simple so even a doofus like you can understand then. If I reported you to the cops, you're gonna get arrested. You hear me? The cops are definitely gonna side with me on this one. After all, I have a good background.
So that's what you were trying to imply. You should have just cut to the chase. Are you job hunting right now? I hope you don't talk like that during your interviews. Let me give you a piece of advice. You should learn to set up your argument more clearly. Starting with your conclusion first could help you a lot. Using examples are okay, but if you don't make it clear about what the example is supposed to prove, it could become confusing, even a waste of time.
Hey, don't try blame me for your stupidity. Anyone could have caught up on what I was trying to say if they weren't so slow. This is why I hate speaking to idiots. It's so darn inefficient. You guys just don't have the brain capacity to hold a proper conversation.
I was wondering why you forced me to hand over my contact information. Is it so that you could bother me like this and demand money? If my assumption is correct, and if you value efficiency, then I advise we both forget this conversation ever took place. It'll be better for the both of us.
I'm still a student, you know? That means I still work part-time. I don't have that much cash on me. Well, I guess that the same can be said for you. You don't seem that bright. You have the face of some dumb old granny. I bet you work part-time at some fast food restaurant or something. Minimum wage, too.
I see. You find amusement in making assumptions about other people and belittling them based on that pure assumption? Honestly, I understand that not all young people are like you, but seeing that someone like you is going to be the future of our country makes me anxious.
Yo, don't worry, I'm much better than a talking garbage bin like you. For one thing, I already have my future planned out. It's decided that I'm going to start working at a reputable company once I graduate university.
Calling someone you've just met a talking garbage can is definitely not a good sign. But I worry that the company courageous enough to hire someone like you is also a problem. I wonder, what did they even see in you? Are you a completely different person during job interviews?
Nah, I didn't go through any job interviews. Maybe you don't see it, but my awesome background in education isn't the only thing great about me. I also have ties with the CEO of a pretty cool company, which means it's only natural that I'll be hired to work for them once I graduate. Basically, I can skip all the boring job hunting stuff. Life is just so easy.
You think they'll hire you just because you have ties with them? If it's still undecided, I would start getting ready to look for a job. I suppose they could hire you, but it's better to be safe than sorry. I've seen a lot of people regret not preparing themselves enough, no matter how confident they were.
Hold up, is that what you went through? Did you not prepare yourself enough back when you were a student? Man, do I feel sorry for you. It must suck not being as good as you thought you were. But for real, I've never heard of anything like that before you mentioned it. It's probably something that happens to people who are really screwed up, like you, probably.
No, I didn't go through this experience myself, but I have seen people who have multiple times.
No need to act tough. I bet you were super arrogant, like you were blind as to how incapable you were. And your bubble finally burst when you couldn't get a single job during your job hunts. Am I right? Man, you must have been really miserable. Seriously though, I'm not the same as you. I'm actually smart, charming, and a freaking genius. I'll be fine without any of your advice. Thanks.
If you think so.
Anyways, back to the accident we were talking about. About $7,000 should be enough for the damage you caused today. I think I also hurt my leg when you bumped into me, so pay up, will you? Because if you don't, I'm gonna find out where you live and I'm gonna collect the money myself.
I'm pretty sure if you actually did that, it would count as a criminal offense. If you're willing to go as far as to actually show up on my doorstep and demand any sort of payment, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to call the police.
Oh man, you don't even have $7,000 in your bank account? First, you harm a poor kid with a bright future like me, and now you're saying you don't have enough money to make up for what you did? You should be embarrassed of yourself, old woman. Come on, I know you're not a millionaire, but how poor can you be? Are you a homeless or something? Do you even have a job?
I think you're starting to go a bit too far. I don't have time to be bothered by someone like you. If you're going to graduate soon, you should probably start looking for a job so that you don't run into trouble even when your expectations aren't met. First thing to start off with would be working on your manners. You should learn to not harass someone you've just met.
Were you not listening, old hag? I told you I don't have to look for a job. It's decided already. I'm different to you. I don't have to go through all that tedious job hunting business. Or did you just forget? That's what happens when you get old, right? That, or you just don't have enough brain cells to actually remember anything.
You can say what you want. I hope you have a good day.
You're in that time of year again when companies start hiring new employees, right? Are you busy? Do you still do that thing where you pretend to be just another plain job interviewer?
Hi, Millie. Of course I still do it. It's actually pretty amusing. And yes, we are busy just like every other year. But it's all part of the job, and so far, everything seems to be going quite well. How about you? Anything new? Have any of your students caused trouble this year?
Nope, I don't think there's been any huge problems this year. At least not yet. Oh, that didn't come out right. It sounds as if my students causing problems is a normal thing.
Wait, it's not a normal thing?
Oh, Lucy, what's that supposed to mean?
I'm sorry. But it kind of is, isn't it? A part of me enjoys hearing about all the stories you have to tell me after you finish dealing with them. I know it's no laughing matter for you, but from an outsider's perspective, it's amusing. Of course, in an ideal world, everything would go smoothly with no problems whatsoever. But what actually happens is that every single year you have at least one student doing something out of the ordinary. It's always a surprise. But I suppose that must be what it is to be young. They're full of energy and sometimes a bit naive.
I can't argue with that. That must be what makes them so outspoken and full of hope.
I still remember about your students last year. One of them couldn't believe that they didn't get the job. They went straight to the company's office building to have a talk with the interviewer, just so they could hear the reasons behind why they weren't hired. What happened to that student anyways?
Believe me, it was not good. They busted into the building during office hours. The company was not happy, to say the least. They said that it was unbelievable behavior, which is true. But because of that, the company thinks that all the other students in our school might be no better. They're not so keen on hiring any of our students anymore. I see their point, but it's just not fair to the other students. I just hope that by telling this story to my future students, we can prevent a similar incident from happening at any other company.
I see. That must have been tough. Hopefully this year's students are all well behaved. Hey, that reminds me. I've just had a little incident with one of your students.
What? Oh no, I really don't want to hear it, but what happened?
They were riding a bike and they crashed into me on the street. I think they weren't looking at where they were going. That alone would have been forgivable, but they forced me to give them my contact info and pay up for the damage I supposedly caused to the bicycle.
Oh no. And I'm guessing they didn't even bother to apologize? All right, Lucy, give me their name.
It's all right, Millie. Luckily, I wasn't hurt in the accident, and it's not like the kid did anything beyond slightly annoying me. For now, I think I'll give them a chance and keep their identity a secret. But if they start bothering me again, I'll make sure to report their little misbehaviors to you.
Are you sure? If you say so. Your company hires a lot of our students every year. We really appreciate it, you know? We definitely wouldn't want to cause you any trouble. It'd be like repaying your kindness with malice. If something happens, you have to tell me, all right?
Don't worry. In fact, we should be the ones appreciating you for educating your students so well. It's not like we're hiring your students just because you teach them. They're all very intelligent, and it makes us want to hire them. So thank you for allowing us to take in so much of your great students.
Oh, you're being too generous, but I'm glad you think that. Being the principal, there's always so many things to worry about when it comes to my students. But it always brings a smile to my face when people talk kindly of them. They may be troublesome at times, but at the end of the day, they're all very great kids. Do you think I'm being too proud when it comes to my students?
I don't know, but if I were you, I would be proud too.
Thank goodness. Oh, look at the time. I suppose I shouldn't bother you too much. Let's go get some coffee once everything settles down.
Of course, I'll be looking forward to it.
Well, well, well. Who would have thought that we'd meet again, huh? I guess I stand corrected. You do have a full-time job. Not that you're anything great either way, but that must be something impressive from your perspective. Oh, and you have to forgive me for splashing my coffee onto you. It still pains me to think about what you did to me a few days ago. Think of it as justice served.
I was surprised to see you at the interview as well. Did you not notice how shocked the other interviewers were when you covered me in coffee? I applaud you for taking a step and actually starting to apply for a job, but I'm afraid with an attitude like that, you wouldn't be able to get one.
Nah, don't worry about it. I don't need to kiss up to you to get a job here. Remember how I said I have ties with the CEO? This is the place I was talking about. Which leads me to wonder, did we really need to do that interview? I mean, come on. We already know I'm gonna get hired. Why bother?
Of course we need to. It's necessary in order to decide if we're going to actually hire someone or not. Besides, it's the best way for us to see what kind of person an applicant may be in person. Take yourself as an example. Because we held that interview, we were able to see how you treat others when you don't like them.
And why are you talking to me like that? Like I said countless times before, I have a connection with the CEO. You might want to be careful about how you speak to me, because I could get them to fire you.
That's impossible. I'm the CEO. And I have never heard a thing about you before in my life. Did you mistake this place for somewhere else, or were you lying?
What? Yeah, right, like I'll be fooled by that. I saw you at the interview. A CEO wouldn't be there. You're just another expendable employee like the rest of the bunch. Don't try lie to me.
I was at the interview because I was pretending to be like any other employee. I'm glad you were fooled. It gives me hope that the other applicants also haven't noticed who I really was.
No. Like, you can't be the CEO. I mean, why would the CEO be pretending to be a normal employee?
Isn't it obvious? If the applicants knew that the CEO was in front of them, it would make them nervous. It might be a little too much pressure for them, especially since job interviews on their own are already stressful enough. Besides, it's nice to see the applicants myself. I don't want to take my employees' jobs, but I do enjoy choosing who to hire next.
What the hell? What kind of a reason is that? No, I'm not buying it. There's absolutely no way that you're the CEO.
You don't have to believe me. Either way, we're not hiring you. I think it's a fairly obvious decision, seeing how you've been acting these past few days. If you want to get a job, I suppose you better start bettering yourself and start working for it.
Hold on, you can't be serious. I'm a student at Wyatt University. You have to hire me.
I know you're a student at Wyatt, but I don't see why that means that I have to hire someone like you. You show no potential. Your personality is a wreck. You don't even have a connection with me, though. I wouldn't hire you even if you did.
The principal is close friends with the CEO, right? Isn't that why so many students from White University get hired? It's a rumor at our school. If we apply for a job here, it's almost decided that we'll get hired.
Oh, is that what the students think? Is it true that your principal and I are close friends? I would even say that we're best friends. But that doesn't mean I'll just hire every student from our school. I've treated every student equally. Every applicant has the same chance of getting hired as the rest of them.
That's impossible. Then why are there so many people from our place in your company? Are you trying to say that it's just a coincidence?
I'm not trying to say it is. It's the truth. Students from Wyatt University just happen to fit the type of people we're looking for. They're not just smart, but passionate and willing to take risks. They're all very appealing. And it's not just a facade. Everyone who we hire is doing great at their job. I'm very proud to be able to hire people like them.
Well, duh. Wyatt University is one of the best universities in the state. So shouldn't you be hiring me too? I'm also a student there.
Definitely not. There is definitely no way we'd hire someone like you. You crash into me on the streets with a bike, but instead of apologizing, you try to charge me for getting your bike scarred. Then you cover me in coffee during your job interview. For every interview, we would give out drinks to help ease the stress the applicants must be feeling. But I suppose what you needed was a source of stress so that you wouldn't act so arrogantly. Frankly speaking, we don't want someone like you working at our company.
Why? It just doesn't make any sense. We're supposed to get hired no matter what, as long as it's your company. It's not just a rumor, the data backs it up. You can't just do this to me. I have a future. You don't want to mess up a future of a young student, do you?
I could care less. That's your problem and not mine. What you believe to be the truth is nothing more than a mere rumor. I hope your existence proves that to the other students who may foolishly believe in it as well. Besides, getting hired at this company should be the least of your worries. I went easy on you last time, but I won't make the same mistake again. I'm going to report you to the police.
Wait a second, you can't report me. What if I get a criminal record? It was just a little coffee, lady. If you don't hire me, I need to start job hunting. They aren't going to hire me if they knew that I got charged with a criminal offense.
Why should I care? In fact, that may be better for the society in general. If people didn't know what you were actually like, it may lead to more people getting harmed by you. If anything, now's the chance to finally stop you from getting out of control.
No, come on, that's going way too far. Hear me out. I'm already in hot water since I'm not getting hired by your company. I haven't applied for any other place. It's not that I was lazy, I was just being efficient. I thought there was no need to go through all that trouble if I was going to get a job here anyways. See? I'm a smart kid.
You only have yourself to blame. You need to start noticing your flaws, or else I'm afraid no one will hire you even without a criminal record.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Come on, you have to hire me. I swear, I won't do anything to you anymore. I'll try to be better. Please.
Unlike you, I have an actual close tie with your university's principal. All of your actions will be reported to her. Worst case scenario, you may be expelled. But I'm afraid you wouldn't have gone through all this if you were slightly more charitable. I hope this serves as a lesson for you. Although Lucy didn't mention it, the hot coffee that she was covered in burnt her quite severely. She was safely treated so it won't leave a permanent mark, but the police were contacted nonetheless. While Connor had to deal with the police and medical costs, and Lucy warned her business partners about his misdeeds. With that and his criminal record, Connor was never able to find a place that was willing to hire him. At the same time, Millie heard everything from Lucy, and as expected, expelled Connor from the university. So now Connor had no college degree, no job, and had to deal with his criminal record.